Peace and welcome to Not Church. No dogma, no doctrine, no Bravo Sierra, mystical theology in public, channeling the radiant energy of love light within, between, and among, emanating from the realm of beauty above and within and around. If this is your first time here, welcome to our little community, and please use the chat. Say hi to people. There's a conversation going on there right now about COVID. People have it. I've had it. May everyone heal from it. So please use the chat. And later, if you're listening to this, please write something down in the comments. Say hello. This week on Not Church, by request, death, wash my soul, enter bliss, a personal apocalypse, near-death experience, and verses from the book of Revelation and the Gospel of John. Both of those are by request. Revelation 22:14. Wonderfully blessed are those who wash their robes white, so they can access the tree of life and enter the city of bliss by its open gates. The Passion Translation. That sentence is a workable metaphor of my first near-death experience. And I haven't read it in decades until recently when it was suggested to me. And this person added this verse too from John, and I've here feminized it. It's 14:21, feminized. Those who truly love me are those who obey my commands. Whoever passionately loves me will be passionately loved by my mother, capital M. And I will passionately love her in return and will reveal myself to her. Revelation in you. Passionately loving you, in return, reveal myself to you. So says heaven to you. I'm called Peter Panagore, and if you've been to Not Church before and it's inspired you, please click like and subscribe, and thanks. In my YouTube comment section, someone asked me why I bother with public speaking while I could just be living a mystical life of fun and beauty. Why do I bother giving hope, love, light, and understanding instead of just having a private life? Why bother when you know everything ends and goodness and bliss awaits us, was the question. On the second sunrise of my second day, after my first rebirth, after my first NDE, I awoke hearing inside me an agreement that I unknowingly made when I was in heaven, a contract. I have a higher purpose, a higher mission, a calling that roars inside me like a waterfall of light, never ceasing, always present, driving me to communicate, to speak the unspeakable, to give hope to the hopeless, to work on behalf of those who are dispossessed, to strengthen the doubting, and to help heal the suffering, in word and in action. I've lived my life this way. I followed the trail laid before me, and I walked through the doors that opened. My task is to help others see what I see, the living light inside yourself, inside all things. The greatest joy and the greatest hope and strength is connecting heaven to the now, heaven here now. That's my greatest joy, my greatest strength. I want to communicate that experience to you, not in words, but in the divine presence itself. That's really the calling. I do my small part, one among tens of millions, some of whom are here today. I do my small part. We all do our small part. Unshackling minds and opening hearts. That's what I try to do. That's why I do this publicly. The rest, It's up to heaven. I'm not here to convince anybody of anything, because goodness knows, capital G, capital K. Each week we begin with a chant and then some centering silence practice right around this point. People ask me, is the voice you hear inside yourself my guides or me? And when they're meditating, some people sometimes hear voices, and people ask me that question. Do I hear my guide speaking inside me in words? And then I'll answer this way. A man once asked Rumi, why is it that you talk so much about silence? Rumi answered, the radiant one inside me has never said a word. Now think about that in the context of what I just said about being called without words. Practicing silence and centering prayer lets us listen with the ear of our hearts. The radiant energy inside and around me is also the same energy in the ear of my heart. Listening in silence in your inner ear opens wide your soul. That's why it's practiced. Beginners, pick a word, latch it onto your breath, a word like love or light, breathe it into your belly, and back out your nose with attention. When your mind wanders, force your mind with your prayer word back onto your breath, back into your chant, and just follow your breath. It's super simple. And you can look in the description below for Not Church. I have a couple of instructions, videos that make meditation simple. More advanced students today, if you haven't done this before, at the top of your breath, stop and hold your breath a beat. And at the bottom of your breath, stop and hold your breath a beat. And then a beat and a beat, a beat and a beat. All right, so let's begin with 3 ohms, and then we're going to drop in a few breaths, okay? Are you ready? Meditate. Make us channels of peace. Hey, before we begin, someone texted me recently asking, how do I use Super Chat on a Sunday morning? In chat, select the money sign, and then select send a Super Chat. Today, death, wash my soul, enter bliss, a personal apocalypse, us, Revelation, and John. Whew, a lot of words. The book of Revelation is also called the Apocalypse. Listen to this apocalyptic passage as if John of Patmos was speaking to you about his personal mystical experience. Oh, I see a super chat. I'm gonna have to answer this there. What's your thoughts on writing down flow, random thoughts, and then returning to silence later, looking at the flow as though it was possible spirit communication? Can you bring that up at the end, Chad? Please bring that up again. Listen to this apocalyptic passage, and thanks for the super chat. As if John of Patmos was speaking to you directly about his personal mystical experience. This is what he said in this particular passage. Wonderfully blessed am I who have washed my robes clear white, giving me access to the tree of life, and then allowing me to enter the city of bliss by its open gates. I'm going to read it again. Wonderfully blessed am I who washed my robes clear white, giving me access to the tree of life, and then allowing me to enter the city of bliss by its open gates. This verse, that happened to me. This verse resonates with my experience. My robes were washed clear white, giving me access to the tree of life and allowing me to enter the gates of the city of bliss. This is all metaphor, but this metaphor applies to my experience. It's in the Bible. What is physical death but a personal apocalypse, a personal end of time? Time continues on after you die, as it has for billions of light years. Well, you're going to end, and I will too. Thank the divine. I'll get to go home. But time and space, they'll continue on with or without us, as Earth has, as the universe has, since the beginning of time. This Revelation verse is an evolution. I read this as an evolution of my soul. I evolved when this happened. My soul was washed, emptied of my attachments, and I advanced by being fed by the tree of life. The fruits of the tree of life entered into me and advanced me into the bliss of the city of heaven. Let's pick it apart a little bit. Wonderfully blessed am I. Yes, this is true for me. But blessing isn't about perfection or ease or the end of suffering. It also sometimes feels like a curse, especially when I was younger. Now less so, because we're able to talk about it in public. It's a blessing. And I didn't ask for it. It happened to me. The blessing is knowing where I am from and to whom I belong and to where I am going. But I'm a little ahead of myself telling you what happens after you get in the city gate, after heaven opened for me. My robe, my soul, myself, my consciousness was washed clean by the soap suds of light, that I became transparent, naked, fully known, illuminated by the light itself. The tree of life reached into me, filling me with all good nourishment, with the fruit from the tree of life that fulfills and fills and satisfies and overspills. And then, once sated, I was welcomed into the gate of heaven, once cleansed, once connected. You've heard me tell my story in a different and much more detailed way, and both tellings are true because of metaphor and simile. Words are only tools. They're the only tools that we have to say the unspeakable. I was washed. My robe was cleansed. I ate of the tree of life. I entered the city of light. And when I came back to life, John 14:21 became my heart. Those who truly love me are those who obey my commands. I had very little autonomy in accepting The power of the presence of the love that lived inside me, that rooted, that took root, that took residence inside of me. Command for love? Demand for love? It's much more like a connection to it that says, this is me. My command is myself. My love is me. Obey the command of love. It became so much simpler and easier. Whoever passionately loves me, the passage continues. Whoever passionately loves me, the I am, the holy, the oneness of being, the light, the love, is passionately loved by Creator. The one who loves the Christ consciousness Jesus was talking about is passionately loved by the Creator. The I am. If you love the I am in Him, you are passionately loved by the Creator. Hey, I got a secret for you. You're loved that way anyway. You are passionately loved by the Creator, whether you passionately love the Creator or not. The difference here is that you begin to be in action with the same love that is emanating from the absolute abundance of love, and it recreates us. And I will passionately love you in return, the passage says. And I will passionately love you in return and reveal myself to you. The passionate love comes with a revelation. The connection comes with a revelation. And the revelation is the light itself, the eminent eminence, the imminent eminence, the divine presence of the divine love is communicated in the loving of heaven, in the connection to the bliss itself. Thank you, Michael, and thank you, Donato. And I'm telling you this so that you can see that there is truth woven into the Bible, hidden in it. Literalism? No. Mysticism? Yes. It's in there. Metaphor and symbol. How do we love passionately? How do we do that in the world? Is it just this? Or does it include this? The reaching out to others. Do goodness. Show kindness. Live compassion. Be present. Seek the light now. And in doing so, you feed your soul to show kindness and do goodness and to live compassionately. Seek the light. The doing of goodness, taking love and action in the world, taking love as action in the world, it feeds the light inside you. When you take action of love in the world, it feeds the light back inside of you. And when you feed the light inside yourself, it arises in the world as goodness, as love, as compassion and kindness. It's a self-divine reinforcing circle. It's a divine self reinforcing circle. The connection to the interior powers the action in the exterior, which connects to the interior, which powers the action, which is just this circle. Love the divine passionately. Live love in the world passionately. Live love in the world passionately. Love the divine passionately. I went and I experienced that verse from Revelation, and I came back and found myself, discovered myself living the verse from John. In neither case did I actually make a choice. It was the self-evident nature of the divine light and my, I guess, acquiescence. I acquiesced. Maybe I did choose. I acquiesced. But it was so overwhelming. The force of the tree of life, the cleansing, making me naked first, the fruit from the tree of life, and entering the gate, it was so overwhelming. It just was self-evident. A spiritual and passionate love is one that aims at heaven above all things, And when one does that one thing, the love light pours in wherever you go, with who you're with, and whatever you do. Those who love me, said Jesus, obey my commands of love. Passionately love the light. And the light will passionately love you in return, because it already does. It already loves you passionately in return. And everyone, no exclusions. When I was in the city of heaven, the city of bliss, is when this was at the level of truth with a capital T. As in heaven, so on earth. I want that truth with a capital T now. I want that naked, tree-fed entry into bliss here. And we do that here by passionately loving the oneness and finding that love spills into the world. I want that truth here, don't you? Isn't that what you want? To see, feel, experience, touch, and know heaven now here, and give you some hope, give you some strength, give you some healing. Let's take a moment right now and settle back into our breath and feel the divine presence who is among us and within us. A passionate love together, just for a moment. Who do you think is loved? Who included? Who is excluded by the Creator in death? Write your replies in the comments, please. Have you eaten from the mystical washing? Have you been mystically washed? Have you eaten from the tree of life and been welcomed through the gate of bliss? Let me know in the comments. Bliss loves company. That's why we're here together. Because bliss loves the company of hearts seeking light and love, because we are strengthened together. That's the power of this. Thank you all for coming here this morning and sitting with me and listening to what I have to say. I try just to get out of the way, through my mind, through my experience, but I try just to let the light speak. And if not church, is live, chat in the chat. And if you're watching this after, say hello in the comments to our community with our connection to each other. If not church, washes your laundry, gives you a nibble to eat, and opens the gate of bliss, a crack for you to peek. If inspiration and understanding with hope touch you, then please support this mission to help free minds from literalism and open any heart to light. I'm available by appointment at peterpanagore.love. I have a whole afternoon of appointments today. I'll see you all later. Join us for Mystic Tea Salon at the top of the hour, where we have a community conversation about the direct experience of overwhelming light with humble hearts that matter more than erudition. Conversation in safety about your mystical experience in the context of community. That's what Mystic Tea Salon is, top of the hour. It's 4 p.m. Coordinated Universal Time. I'm trying to start to use Coordinated Universal Time. That's also known as Greenwich Mean Time, so that everybody knows what time I'm talking about. I'm talking about 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. UTC at the top of the next hour. Next week, because I'm writing ahead now, I've gotten to the place where I can write ahead. Next week, Your Original Goodness by Request and the mythology of chapter 1 in Genesis. Your original goodness. All right, I'm going to go back to Chad's question, and then I'll take a look at the chat. And thanks for bearing with me there, Chad. That was you're a mensch, brother. So yeah, why not? If you get ideas when you're in your meditation and you're listening, write them down. See what they are. See what they say. See what you think. My writing process as a writer, what am I? I'm a professional writer. I've been writing for my whole career. Every job I've ever had, I'm a writer. And what I learned in my writing is that the muse speaks if you listen. I don't wait for the muse to show up. Okay, I'm not an artiste. I'm a crafts person. I'm a crafter. I craft words. More like a metalsmith or a glass blower. I'm an artisan, I guess, maybe, not an artist. I don't wait for the muse to show up. I show up. And if she or he shows up in your meditation, write down what you hear. But the goal isn't so much the message that you are communicated to. It's that thing that happens inside your soul. Yes, you get messages to your mind. That's good, right? It's helpful. We live in the world. But the true message of silence resides inside yourself. That's where the truth of the message is. And that truth of the message isn't contained inside words. It's in the experience of your divine self. And if you can feel this radiance, that's the message. This radiance is the message. The silence is the sound. So, hey, Donato, Zenobius, Peter. Oh, where'd you go? Oh my gosh, you skipped Peter. What do you think of the Corpus Hermeticum? Have you not read it? I think you would enjoy it. I think I have read it. That's a very familiar name. I went through this period of time maybe 25 years ago where I read a lot of those books. I may have even. Can you tell me more about where that is and where it's from? Spark my memory. The title's super familiar, but I can't place it off the top of my head. But if you tell, is it like in the Nag Hammadi texts or the Dead Sea Scrolls or something? That'd be really helpful to help me place it. But off the top of my head, I can't say. I'd have to look it up to see what I thought about it. When I was a kid, someone used to say to me, "I've forgotten more than you've ever learned." And I thought, what are you talking about? It turns out, yeah, I've forgotten a lot. I keep learning, but I've forgotten a lot. So I saw a bunch of super chats. I want to thank everybody for the super chats. It's very nice of you. And that's what I experience when I do my beacon of love meditation, says Lucia, via connection to my soul. Although I know my experience is only a small fraction of what you experience. Well, Lucia, the thing is, what I experience is only a small, tiny, itsy-bitsy fraction of what God is, okay? So my fraction is a lot more similar to your fraction, from my point of view, than my fraction is to the divine oneness of being. So I appreciate what you're saying, and I understand what you mean. But even so, I think we're more similar than different. That's where it is for me. I need a drink of water here. Yes. All right. If I missed any questions, pop them in the bottom. Put them in the chat again is what I mean. No one is excluded. All are included. None excluded. Oh, I've been washed into bliss, the illuminated castle. Oh, yeah, that can happen. You can be washed into bliss. I think I know who you are, Illuminated Castle. I'm pretty sure. That comes from Teresa of Avila. Kerman, no, Charlie, we just say morning and then spit tobacco juice. But I would have liked to have heard the rest of that conversation. Not for me alone, but for everyone. Bliss loves company. Yes, Bliss loves company. It's totally true. Everyone is loved beyond all human understanding. Victoria. So one of the reasons why Bliss loves company is because it feeds itself. The more blissful people gathered together, the bigger the bliss is for everybody. It's that God multiplication thing. 1 + 1 = 3 thing. No one is excluded. Primary feathers. I wonder if people can exclude themselves through free will, at least temporarily. I think, yeah. And this is just thinking, okay, primary feathers, this is not knowing, this is not my experience, this is just observation. And I think, yes, because I've met ghosts, and they definitely excluded themselves. The power of the presence was so overwhelming to me. It was like being caught in I don't know what kind of flood it was like. The biggest flood you can imagine. I was so overwhelmed. I was washed so clean so quickly. I suppose I could have rejected it. I suppose. I don't see how. The compulsion of the light toward the center of my soul was just overwhelming. I suppose some can choose to live in darkness. Why? Why would you choose that? Isolation and separation. When there's so much bliss. That's why a lot of people pray for the dead. That's why the Catholics pray to get people out of purgatory, if that's a real place. I use the term purgative fire of divine love. People use the term hell. Yeah, I suppose so. It brings to mind this favorite icon, this Greek Orthodox icon it's after the resurrection, and Jesus is standing, and he's got some disciples, and there's some halos around their heads, and he's sort of coming out of this radiance, this layers of radiant aura, and he's sort of poking out of heaven, and his head is super illuminated, and he's got his two hands reaching down, and he's barefooted, and he's standing on the open doors of heaven, of hell, open doors of hell, and he's pulling people up. He's got these two people, I think a man and a woman, and he's lifting them up out of hell. The divine light is gracious. The divine light is compassion and love, and lifts us out of our own hell. I suppose we can ignore the light. People do. Ghosts. But when the light approaches you and takes your hand and brings you from agony to bliss, what more could you want? I suppose some people want themselves. And that is the challenge of all of this in life, to let yourself be consumed by passionate love. Have you been consumed by passionate love? Have you ever had really passionate love and lost yourself in the process of it, and the sharing of it, the self-abandonment of it, the being consumed by it? Better is the light than all of that. It's a metaphor, yes. Let yourself be consumed by the passion and discover your true self. I wonder if people, let's see, I read that one. The true metaphor is so evocative. The monolithic tree, over time, saplings rise in its shade, which is in their turn nurture and shelter more seedlings, divine diaspora. Thank you for adding to this metaphor. Add to this metaphor. That's what I should say. In the comments, add to this metaphor. Expand this out. Make this bigger. A bunch of my NDE friends, a couple of them anyway, have seen this tree of life. In their death, they go to a hypercorporeal place where they see a tree of life. I didn't actually see the tree of life. For me, it was more of a metaphor. For them too, but in their near-death experience, they experience this tree as a tree that feeds them. And they go to this tree, and sometimes they go into the kingdom of bliss, the queendom of bliss. And sometimes they get sent home right from the tree. Some see the tree in a distance. Let me know what you think in the comments. This is acquiescence you spoke of is misunderstood by control and so many religious traditions. Yes, it was acquiescence. I acquiesced. I released. You know, as a skier, when you fall skiing, you let your body go limp like a puppet, like a marionette. You let yourself flop, and that way you don't get hurt. If you stay tense, you bounce and you break. Acquiescence. I acquiesce to the fall. I acquiesce. I acquiesced to God. Not that it seemed like there was much choice, because it was so beautiful and overwhelmingly true with a capital T. How could I not? Yes, Bliss loves company. We are points of light and connected global network. A connected global network. That's what we do have. Shining brighter together. Absolutely. My light, my lamp illuminates your lamp, and your lamp illuminates my lamp, and it's like 3 lamps together. I know the photons don't actually double, right? I understand that. I mean, they do double. I didn't mean that. They don't triple, they double. But not in mystical theology. They triple. People get twisted in this life, but they are no less deserving of love ever, says Raisin Girl 13. Yeah. Because everybody foxtrots in this life, flubs in this life, flubs up in this life. Everybody does. And nobody's less deserving of love. Because it's your core, it's who you are. It's your original goodness, which we'll talk about next week. Carmen, you said something funny and I didn't hear it. That's cool, though. It's all right. It's okay. I don't mind. Charlie said. Hey, Charlie. Peter, what do you... I read that. I did read that. Where am I? Dum-dum-dum. Your child may react to it in your belly. Ooh, there's something going on there. I enjoyed reading Alan Watts. I read Alan Watts a long time ago. Definitely read Alan Watts. Thank you. My mom was killed in a hospital by being denied ivermectin, which would... Well, I wish brave souls enter this playground. Good luck, says Vicky. Yep, Alan Watts. Radiating with your child is a wonderful thing to do. Kietrui. Yeah, radiating with your child. Loving your child. Being radiant with your baby. Or even if it's your baby's all grown up. Hey, Rob. Oh, I don't mind you being late, brother, way over there. You got kids, I know that, over there in Wales. Glad to see you here. Peter, I want to thank you. My husband has been struggling. I introduced him to your work, and meditation suggestions have been helping him center. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. The practice of centering prayer, the practice of centering meditation, it has so many helpful applications in life, and it's not magic. It's biology. A lot of it is biology, but it also has metaphysics, the metaphysical connection of the inner listening ear. But it also calms you down and makes you more present in your physical world. And so I'm glad to hear that. Helps deal with... I certainly could have helped... could have used it the other day when I stepped outside, and on the second day the day after my car already got a flat, which some of you have already got an email about. The next day, I had another flat, 2 flats in a row. And I should have caught a breath before I started like, what is this? I should have just stopped. I did stop. After a moment or two, I caught myself. And I took a few breaths. Another flat. What are the odds? How ridiculous. And then it was ridiculous. So I'm glad I'm glad my meditation's helping. It helps me too. Where are we? Illuminated Castle. Thank you. I believe the Tree of Life. Super chat results and less money than PayPal does to Peter. This is totally true, Helen. And I appreciate the super chats a lot, but YouTube does take a very large slice. 40%. PayPal helps. PayPal takes a lot less. And I appreciate your support, though. Very, very much. A lot. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for YouTube. So I've seen the sparkling spirit in a tree. Oh, yeah, me too. Yeah, trees have the sparkling spirit. Sometimes it's very visible. I was once hiking in Kauai with this buddy of mine, way back when. And this tree radiated the sparkle. I walked by, it was like walking through, he was in front of me on the trail. It was like walking through a waterfall. And I watched him like in slow-mo. And then I was behind him. It was like, whoa, slow-mo. Yeah, trees can radiate. Trees have sparkle. Takes one to see one. I love that tree. I yearn for the tumultuous tree of childhood. I could only find peace out in the woods amongst the trees. You spoke of first Americans and that connection. I totally do. The white pine tree in New England is the tree of peace. Historically, before the Europeans arrived, anyway. I had a tree of peace when I was a kid. I still got one now. Go out into the tree. Out by the tree. I'll write again next week. Greatly. I saw that you wrote to me yesterday. I wasn't able to get to your email. I'll take a peek. 40%, no way. Yeah, way. Ouch. Yeah. But, on the upside, I get to use YouTube for free. So it's not, I don't feel like it's a very high percentage. And PayPal is so much better. And I encourage you for PayPal or Patreon. But I appreciate the super chats too. I do. When it rains, it pours. Yeah, no kidding. It was pouring flat tires. These are always, trees always seem in meditation. Trees seem always in meditation, peaceful prayer. Feels that way to me too, Holly. Very peaceful. I read this week in one of my science, I read a lot of science every week, and read some really great science this week. But one of them was that trees uninhibited could live thousands of years. Trees can live old. Yep. Sumitra Biswas, appreciation and gratitude from India. Hey, India. Cool. Good to see you here this morning. I appreciate you being here, and I have gratitude for you showing up all the way from India. A global reach we have. Frederick, I miss that connection. I just want to go home. Frederick, it's coming. It's going to come for you. Everybody gets it. Everybody who dies and comes back, the truth is, comes a time, you die and you don't come back, at least not in this incarnation. Your body dies, and it's coming for you, and you probably want it sooner than later. And if you carve a space inside yourself, you get to taste it here. That's what meditation is. That's why it works. That's why people pass it down, I should say. They pass it down because it works, because you get a taste of it here. That desire that you have for the connection, it's a gift, a painful gift, no doubt, because you're seeking and not getting what you want. But it's a gift because it's what's driving you forward. Let it drive you. Excuse me, pardon me. What time is it? 45. We had about 10 minutes left if there's stuff to talk about. And I don't have to stay if there isn't. That's totally cool. Okay. This person is back, and I don't know what VOM.RED stands for. And I wish you would tell me. It's a name in Cyrillic. You've been here before. I think what I'll do is this. I'll take a moment here, and I see another code too. Copy. I'm going to copy your name. Put your name here. I'm going to copy your name, put your name here, and just kind of, because I don't know who you guys are, would like to know, and let me know. I don't know what these things mean, and I don't want to block you guys just because I don't understand, but I'm not going to click on those things either. So just to let you know. And what I'm talking about is Kadoe, Kadoe, and a Cyrillic name I can't pronounce. PayPal seems to work and it's fast. Thank you, Jill. Yes, it is. It's a malicious site, says Kristen. Okay, thanks, Kristen. I'm going to... what will I do? I'll put you in timeout. Sorry, I don't like doing it, but, got to. Don't understand what these are. Okie dokie. Thanks, Kristen. Hopefully all safe flats. Temps, tread, ugh. I'm not sure what you mean there, Casey. It's a different person, Peter. This one is... Oh, who is Ludmila? Ludmila. Is it this person from Russia? Let me know. I don't understand. They're bots. They're in every live stream. Oh, a couple of bots. What do you know? Thank you, Raisin Girl. Frederick Hunt. I have felt the exact same way. I just want to go home, desperately homesick, but I have begun to struggle to carve out some bliss here. These small steps, including being here. Vicky, yay, good to hear it. I know that desperation to want to be home, and I know the capacity one can develop by directing one's heart at the oneness of being. Thanks, Vicky, for saying that. Oh, thanks for reporting them. Diok, comes a time when you don't come back. Yeah, third time's a charm, maybe, for me. We have work here. That's what I focus on, policy person. Ludmila was one in the Russian letters. Thank you, Vicky. All right, my friends. If Ludmila with the Cyrillic name wants to contact me directly, she can. And then we'll straighten out this little mystery. And if you're a bot, Ludmila, then you're a bot. Peter's frozen on my screen. Anybody else? Oh, Ellen. Dear me, I hope not. I still have wireless. At least it seems to be. I had trouble this morning, though, Ellen. Wind was blowing, as you know, blowing a gale. No one is excluded according to NDERF. No one is excluded. That's my point. We could spend all the time in heavenly realms. All right, my friends, we're kind of petering out here. All right, I will see you at the top of the hour for Mystic Tea Salon. Thanks for... I wouldn't be frozen today because it's 36 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Yesterday, on the other hand, I was frozen. All right, my friends. You'll see for yourself the day that you die what bliss awaits you. You'll live that passage from Revelation. Robe washed clean, fed by the tree of life, enter into the City of Bliss. It's so much better than that, too. All right, everybody. I'll see you in a few minutes. Namaste. Thanks for your help, Catherine. As always, thank you, everybody, for being here. You're welcome, Grumpy Purple Sloth. What a great name. I love these names. Gail, you're welcome. I'm glad you were here today. Thank you, Kristen and Policy Person and Vicky. Mystic Tea Salon is on the same channel. It's the link. I think you're asking. Look in the link below. There's a link below. It's not on the channel, it's in Zoom. Okay, it's in Zoom, and it's a group gathering. I will see you all there. Peace and love, everybody. See you soon. Thanks for being here.